We are ready. We're in the zone. Let's get our science on.
What you are 100% certain of is that consciousness does not provide free will, right? There is. You say there is no free will.
Yeah,
Do all scientists say there's no free will?
No, but they didn't have any choice in their answer. But
you could have predicted that.
Yeah.
Right. So the Large Hadron Collider, which got a lot of press because there was an injunction against it in case a black hole was created and it destroyed the world, which I think is a reasonable risk for the advancement of science. No, I'm just kidding.
The Soviet Union put the first cameras on the moon, the first soft landing on the moon, the first sample return, the first Mars rocks came back from the moon, all robotically.
No, Mars rocks from the moon?
Mars rocks from the moon. Bill, dude, it's on my mind.
You're not supposed to tell anybody.
The first rocks. See, that's the kind of slip where you lose that CIA gig.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was all done by Hollywood anyway, so
I apologize.
Okay, so what's an example of what will ripple space-time on a level that you'll be able to measure?
We are measuring things.
Wait. We're all rippling space-time here, aren't we?
We are, yes.
Okay.
We are all waving
okay,
space-time
but you're not measuring that.
Because it's too tiny to measure. And that was Einstein prediction. Einstein said that these things would never be measured because they were too small.
Well, what did Einstein know? Okay.
What did he know?
All right, Jana, your response?
Well, Einstein said of himself, you know, when I was a student, I was no Einstein. So he was actually
That's
not
a really
a very
great
good
line,
student.
by the way. That's really cool.
Are you saying on another galaxy, it's not possible that there could be...
It's extremely unlikely that there would be creatures as similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars. And there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And not even the other colors represented on the Earth are present, much less greens and blues and purples and oranges.
They did have a scene in Star Wars with a lot of strange characters.
Yeah, but none of them seem to be in charge of the galaxy. Everybody in charge of the galaxy seemed to look like us. And I thought there was a large amount of human chauvinism.
And it was driven in a certain direction. And when at this meeting, as listening to the chemists, I began to think that maybe the possibilities are restricted. And in fact, the reason life has the form it has is that if you designed it, you could create anything. If you allow it to happen naturally by chemical processes, it will always be driven in the same direction. It will always be driven to the same four base pairs. And so it'd be interesting to me, but I'd bet that if we discover life elsewhere, it's going to have exactly the same properties.
Huh. I wouldn't bet on that. I mean...
But I'm a numbers nerd, right? So when you look more carefully at it, it's not so clear at all. When we talk about our universe, first of all, we don't mean all of space. We actually mean, I don't know, you can throw me the universe if you want. It's behind you there. We simply mean the spherical region of space from which light has had time to reach us so far during the 13.8 billion years since our Big Bang.
Please welcome Joe Licken. I've known all you guys for many years, probably known Joe the longest of all. I think we probably go back 30 years. But whoever wrote my little notes here probably didn't know that fact because they have told me that your name is pronounced Licken, just like finger licking good. Correct. So I think I would have gotten it anyway, but I appreciate that.
It's good science. You need very few assumptions for dark matter. It's matter, as the name says. It doesn't interact with light. It has some average energy density, and from that you can calculate a lot of the things that we actually observe. It's a stereotypical example for a good hypothesis. Now, about the idea that stars can move around in a galaxy to put on some position, I don't know what observations that would really explain. Like, can you actually predict something with it? Have you tested it? Yeah, I was expecting you to say that. I actually don't really want to know.
I thought we might want to start talking about fill in some of the gaps that happened last night. For example, I was amazed with his understanding of evolution. Or
Well, yes. The chairman asked him, did he accept that humans were descended from apes? I think
yeah,
he said,
that's
didn't
what he put it.
And he said, yes, from Neanderthals. We're not descended from Neanderthals, we're cousins of Neanderthals. I told him that. So he said, more or less, well, how can we be cousins if they're extinct?
You know, I actually, at that point, and I think he then asked you, have you ever met a Neanderthal? And I must admit, I would have just said, I'm talking to one right now.
Should we fear AI? And if so, on what level? Just keep it short.
Yeah, it says, should we fear fire or not? Should we love it? I mean, AI is an incredibly powerful tool, and it's either going to be the best thing ever to happen to humanity or the worst thing ever. I don't think the question is whether we should stress out about it. I think the question is, what useful stuff should we do now?
You just said it could be the worst thing, the best thing or the worst thing ever, but we shouldn't stress. That is the definition of stress.
I meant we should. The interesting thing isn't to quibble about how stressed you should be. The interesting question is, what should we do that's useful to maximize the chances that this will be awesome?
A former and highly successful editor of New Scientist magazine, who actually built up New Scientist to great new heights, was asked, what is your philosophy at New Scientist? And he said, our philosophy at New Scientist is this: science is interesting, and if you don't agree, you can fuck off.
That's all, folks. La rivedere.